Hi, everybody. Thank you for joining us today for Winter is Coming, Everbrite Coatings. Just want to get started. As you all know, I'm sure you guys have service industry, facilities maintenance service companies, and always usually in the winter time, work slows down. Can't do any exterior maintenance, so you're kind of going to focus on interior maintenance. And today we're just going to talk about all the different things you can use Everbrite coatings for some new interior projects you may not have thought of before, and help build your business through the time when it's normally the slowest. So a little bit about Everbrite coatings. We've been in business since 1990, and our consumer base is mostly actually B2C consumers. We have an e-commerce website with homeowners, artists, small projects. We have a worldwide distribution network. We have 10 distributors in countries across the world, and that website is everbritecoatings.com. And then we have our commercial side. Our commercial side, we have been in the self-storage industry for 25 years, and that's been our primary focus. We've had some renovation projects, some high-rise renovations, really coming to us more internally from individual inquiries. Contractors would find out about us, architects would find out about us. We'd get spec'd into a project kind of on a one-on-one project basis. And so we work with contractors directly to make sure that they have successful programs. And we are now listed in master spec so that we can be spec'd into renovation projects, restoration projects, and projects like that. And we've also grown now into not just architectural high-rise, more facade restoration, but also facilities management and maintenance as well. And so that website is actually fmcoatings.com. So our three coatings that we have are Everbrite, which all of our coatings are clear coatings, and it has strong UV blockers. It's formulated to restore the original color and luster of faded painted metal, and also to seal rusted metal and corten metal, which is really big in architectural finishes these days. And then we have Protect-A-Clear, which is a harder, thinner coating. It has an H8 of hardness. It's very hard, very durable. It also protects against fingerprints, scratches, smudges, and the like. It's very great for architectural surfaces that are bare metal that need protection. And then we developed Crobio Coat. So Crobio Coat is actually Protect-A-Clear with microban antimicrobial technology added into it. And so it has all of the same properties as Protect-A-Clear, really strong, really tough and durable, but it also protects against the growth of microbes, which we'll get into in a little bit. The other products that we have, an HD copper cleaning gel, so that actually brings tarnished copper that is brown, maybe even green patinaed, and it brings it back to that bright, shiny copper penny look. We do sell some Midas Touch Polish, which is a non-acidic metal polish. And then we have our stainless steel rust remover and cleaner. And this product is my favorite besides our coatings. It brightens up stainless steel so much and makes it look so bright and shiny and clean. And then when you coat it, you can keep your stainless looking clean all the time. And then our Easy Prep is a neutralizing soap. So anytime you're using an acidic base cleaner, you want to make sure that you neutralize it before you coat it. And then our Triple Aught synthetic steel wool pads, I call these magic pads. They take off grit, grime, oxidation without actually damaging the paint below. So these are really great pads that we're also distributors of. So our coatings work on ferrous and non-ferrous metals, depending on the project would be depending on the coating you would want to use. But stainless steel, aluminum, anodized aluminum, copper, brass, chrome, painted metals, powder coated, even ceramics, hard plastics, hardwoods, and fiberglass. So some of the common indoor surface issues we see that we want to fix up during the winter time, most commonly is fingerprints, especially in the FM industry. Fingerprints, while a surface could have been cleaned 10 minutes prior, as soon as people start touching that surface, especially stainless steel, it gets fingerprints on it and it makes it look dirty. So we're going to be protecting those surfaces from the fingerprints and to keep them cleaner looking all the time. Graffiti, while graffiti's sometimes an outside, more often than not, an outside problem. It also happens inside, especially in large public spaces, and we'll talk about that. Tarnish, which is common on handrails and any kind of metal that's not cleaned often. Oftentimes, metals can tarnish also from high touch from the oils in our skins. So we're going to be protecting those metals as well. And water spots. So while we don't have a solution to clean up water spots, we can protect against them. And then going into microban, which protects against microbes. That's mold, yeast, and algae, which you're going to find in bathroom settings, kitchen settings, anywhere where there's high moisture content. And then, of course, bacteria and viruses. These are all microorganisms, microbes that we can protect against with the microbial coat. And how do these microorganisms impact your surfaces? It causes premature degradation of your customers' assets and products. They can stain the surfaces or permanently damage them if they're not stopped. And then they can cause foul odors. And again, you find that the foul odors more in the restroom and the kitchen, where there's more moisture in the environment as well. So these are a picture of your typical public restroom stainless steel doors. And you can see the picture on the left has a lot of fingerprints where every person who's come in and out of that door has left oils from their skin on the stainless. And then inside the door where people are closing the door, you can see everyone's handprints. Yes, I did take pictures in a public bathroom, only of my own stall. So this is the toilet dispenser, the paper towel or the toilet paper dispenser. You can see just how it's tarnished. So this has been wiped down several times over and over and over again. And we all know that during COVID, we were using some really harsh disinfectants to keep surfaces from spreading bacteria, but it's really caused some damage to our surface finishes. So all of these things, the drips from the cleaner, the drips from water, all of the tarnish really can be protected, brightened up again, and protected to look great. Fingerprints again, so if you're working in a space where there's just lots of people touching things. This is a picture in a jewelry shop in a mall. And you can see they have an image of a pristine perfectness, yet their display cases have fingerprints all over them. So this is somewhere where you can work with your customers, get their surfaces clean, and protect against those fingerprints. Again, this is the metal outside of the stores in that same mall. I only go to the mall once a year, and this was it. So you can see on the metal surfaces, just tarnish, whether people are touching it or if it's just being cleaned with the wrong type of cleaner and it leaves streaks and smudges. It's just not the best look. It's not the best image for those stores. And then here on the Sunglass Hut sign, you can see some, I'm sure, tall teenager walked by and put their hand up and high-fived the sign and left his handprints. So again, just looking into protecting those signs, keeping that image for that brand fresh and clean rather than fingerprints and handprints everywhere. This is an example from the first one of tarnished metal. So these are brass handrails that have not been neglected for many years. So I'm sure that somebody's gone through, wiped them down, tried to keep them clean, but metals that are not protected tarnish over time. And so you can see that you can clean up the entirety of the brass or any non-painted metal, bring back that shine, protect them so they look good all the time. And it even goes for bar tops, tabletops in restaurants, commercial kitchens, anywhere where you have bare metal or even a painted or powder coated metal that's faded and oxidized, or bare metals that are tarnished, they can really be brought back and protected to look clean all the time. And again, this is you offering this to your customers as a service for them, because they want their image, their brand to look great all the time. Then we are looking into larger scale facilities, airports, public transportation, stadiums, things like that, where you have escalators that are going through, walkways where they have stainless steel up the sides. People's shoes are kicking these. Kids are stepping on them. So you can really clean these surfaces. Not so much the rubber handheld, at least not with our products, but at least the metal surrounds, any handrails, or any other metal accents throughout these buildings. This is a perfect example, an elevator door. Metal elevator doors tarnish without protection. And so when they are tarnished and they're oxidized, like the one on the left, you can use our stainless steel rust remover to make them bright and shiny again, protect them with Protect-A-Clear or Crobio Coat where they're high touch, and then they will look great and clean for a really long time. Some more examples: bollards, fountains, indoor fountains, outdoor fountains, any of the kinds of fountains that cause water spots when they're splashing, or if there's metal in the fountain, it gets tarnished. You can protect those metal surfaces so that the tarnish and water spots are not affecting the art surrounding those fountains. And then lights, any lights in a planter, whether indoor or outdoor, these kinds of lights are in the soil that is feeding the plants, and that has to be watered. So they get tarnished and they get rusted, and you can bring these back. And not only are you then saving the asset for your customer, but you're saving them from having to replace it as often. And oftentimes when they're looking at budgets and obsolescence, they're looking at how long can we make this asset look good and perform before we have to replace it. And even if we're paying to clean it up and protect it, if it can extend the life of that asset, that saves them in the long run. So again, Everbrite crystal clear protective coating, it brings back the color and luster of old and faded metal, has very strong UV blockers and antioxidants to protect from sun damage and tarnish, oxidation, and it also has strong corrosive barriers, inhibitors in it. It's formulated for the restoration of metals, but can also be used on hardwoods, hard plastics, and fiberglass. So again, the substrates that you'd want to use Everbrite for would be painted metal, copper and bronze, anodized aluminum, rusted metal, raw corten, and cold rolled steel. And those last two is really what they're doing, is sealing in the rusted metal so that it doesn't drip on the surrounding surfaces. It encapsulates the rust so it's not dripping on clean new concrete. It's not dripping on marble. So these are a few of the examples for Everbrite. Everbrite is more of an exterior coating for the most part, but as you can see the picture on the top left, it has restored the color to those window mullions. And then the color of the emergency bollards, really, as those get faded and oxidized, again, they work fine, but your customers want to increase the longevity of those assets, and Everbrite's a great way to do them. And these signs as well, works on many different types of substrates. So painted metals and sidings and roofs, copper roofs and domes, aluminum or steel siding, metal buildings, curtain walls, storefront and window extrusions that have faded, rusted metal features, outdoor waterfalls and water features, statues and public artwork, and historic restoration and preservation. So these are all potentials for our Everbrite coating. Moving on to Protect-A-Clear, again, it's a harder, thinner, very durable coating. It's formulated for use on non-painted and plated metals. It's very scratch resistant for metal that gets significant handling. We always say the more use and abuse an item gets, then it should have Protect-A-Clear. It reduces fingerprints and smudging and protects against tarnish and water spots. So the potential substrates for Protect-A-Clear: architectural stainless steel structures or accents, mirror polished metal surfaces, indoor water features, pool, spa, and sauna hardware. So if you have multifamily clients, if you have gyms, hotels, resorts, all of those kinds of things who have pool hardware where that chlorine environment is very harsh for the metal, all of the metal handrails and gates and whatnot can be protected to withstand that harsh chlorine environment, including marine environment hardware. So boats, docks, marinas, restaurants on the beach, all of those things. It protects against salt corrosion as well as chlorine. A few examples are this Hilton facade entryway. So again, stainless steel, a lot of people standing there, putting their hands up, having a cigarette, things banging into it. The Protect-A-Clear really can protect against those things. These are some doors that were done at the Atlantic City Convention Center. You can see on the left, they have a lot of rust that has built up from the sea spray in Atlantic City. They were cleaned with our stainless steel cleaner and abrasives, and then they were coated with Protect-to-Clear. Again, that same elevator is really important and a very good project for the wintertime. So again, Microbial Coat is a Protect-to-Clear base with Microban antimicrobial technology built in. It keeps surfaces cleaner, 99% cleaner, 24/7 by inhibiting the growth of bacteria and microbes. It's formulated for the protection of metals, hardwoods, hard plastics, ceramic, and fiberglass. So you can see here, this is from Microban, a 24-hour time lapse. So an unprotected surface, the microbes continue to multiply and grow and build. Microban actually stops the growth of the microbes. So it doesn't actually kill the microbes. How it works is it actually interrupts their metabolic processes so that the microbes cannot reproduce, which then stops their growth and their spread. So a lot of times, of course, the last few years, we've been talking about COVID, and we've been talking about disinfecting and cleaning our surfaces. So the U.S. Army Corps of Engineers actually did some testing with really harsh disinfectants cleaning off bed rails. And they found that even after bed rails were cleaned with these harsh disinfectants and there was nothing on the surface, 2 hours later, they had bacteria buildup again, harmful bacteria buildup on those bed rails. And so really, it's just a cycle of growth of the bacteria. So if you can actually treat the surface with an antimicrobial, then it lessens the growth. It doesn't allow those things to grow over time. It doesn't allow them to multiply. Therefore, the levels, it's right when someone touches it, you're going to have some bacteria there, but over time, 24 hours or less, it actually levels back out to nothing and just continually drives down the number of bacteria on a surface. So the best method is actually to use both. So you have a built-in antimicrobial technology, a coating that has the antimicrobials, keeps everything cleaner. And then as people are touching or as it gets actually dirty, then you're cleaning the surface. So again, this just kind of shows that the microbes are reduced. And what this means in an FM space is actually that microbes are reduced overnight without any action by a person. So let's say you have a store and you have handrails for your doors walking in. And at the end of the night, everybody leaves and everybody goes home. The next morning, when they come back, those handrails are still clean. The bacteria has not had a chance to grow. It's actually reduced all the bacteria that was on that door handle when you left. It's actually gone when you come back. So really, without anything being done by a human, if these surfaces are treated, the bacteria numbers and the microbe numbers go down. So this, I just wanted to show you a brief video of how the application process is and how easy it is. So you can see that it's going to buffer on me here. You can see that such an easy process. You want to wipe the surfaces down with a surgical grade alcohol, which is 99% isopropyl alcohol, easy to buy. But this makes sure that the surfaces are clean and free of any contaminants before they're coated. I'm going to try this again. I think it might buffer on me. So you can see you actually just put some alcohol on a microfiber cloth or any kind of applicator. You wipe down the surface. Again, this ensures that any dirt, fingerprints, and contaminants are off of the surface. And then you have your microbial coat. You want to shake it because all of the silver ions and glass particles that are part of the microban that actually are what stops any growth, those are actually settled to the bottom of the can. So you want to make sure they are shaken up so that it's dispersed throughout the coating, and then you have a great level of protection throughout the coating. And then you pour your coating into a clean glass or metal pan or solvent resistant pan. You take one of the applicator pads that we send out with every order, and you dip it in, squeeze out any excess, and simply wipe it on. The coatings are very forgiving. They're self-leveling and self-annealing, so you can touch up if there's any mistakes made. And even if you leave and you see a run or a drip, you can come back at any time and fix up any runs or drips or places that you missed in the coating. So potential substrates to protect would be doorknobs and door handles. You could go through an entire commercial building and do doorknobs and handles. You could do the entire building in one night. Light switches, handrails, turnstiles, office furniture, countertops, sinks and faucets, any bathroom hardware, really, handicap push plates, elevator doors and button panels, bathroom hardware, bathroom stalls like we saw in those pictures, commercial kitchens, cafeteria tables. So all of these surfaces can be protected with Everbrite coatings. They could be used in office spaces, retail spaces, residential, like multifamily, or even in individual residential, hospitality, resorts and hotels, public transportation, airports, schools, stadiums. Let's take a look at stadiums. So if you have a customer who has a stadium, you can coat all of the turnstiles, all of the handrails, all of the seats you'd want to use Everbrite for, all of the bathrooms, and that would keep the microbes at bay on all of those high touch surfaces, and it would make that facility look cleaner all the time. Here's the hotel we can take a look at. Again, it's kind of the same thing. You have the same thing in all public environments. Door handles, elevators, handrails, countertops, bar tops, entryways, pool hardware, pool fencing. There's just so many potential opportunities for growing your business with these coatings. This is our stainless steel rust remover I was talking about. I love this stuff. This is actually a trash can that we thought was clean, and we took we cleaned it with soap and water. Then we took the stainless steel cleaner and rust remover and did a small spot, and you can see right here how big of a difference it made and how bright it brought back that metal to look. This is the same trash can, the lid with our rust remover cleaner, and then coated with Crobio coat. So you can see how dirty and disgusting it was for buildup over time. We were able to clean it with the rust remover and get the majority. You can see that where it had pitted the metal, it wasn't exactly perfect, but it was good enough. And so we coated it, and it looks clean and protected all the time. So you can see here how when a stainless steel trash can looks when it's uncoated, and then how it looks coated with Crobio coat. And you just can't see any fingerprints. It stays cleaner for longer, and it's really it's great for any facility. So again, our three coatings: Everbrite, Protect-A-Clear, and Crobio coat. A few properties of all of our coatings. So they have excellent adhesion on all metals and most other hard surfaces. They protect surfaces from damage caused by the sun, salt air, acid rain, moisture, and other damaging elements. The coatings remain flexible. They will not crack, chip, or peel, even with the expansion and contraction of metal. They are available in low VOC and LEED compliant formulas, all of them, and they do not contain any carcinogens. Here in California, where we manufacture our coatings, there is a Proposition 65 warning, which means you have to alert the public if there's any carcinogens in any of your products or in any of your environments, and our products do not have to have that label because they just don't have any carcinogens in them, and that's important to us. They are safe around food once cured, so you can use them in commercial kitchens, you can use them in on dining tables and bar top tables, anywhere where there's food. Once it's cured, there's no leaching of any chemicals to the surrounding surfaces or any food. They can, again, application is very easy. They can be applied with any lint-free cloth, a microfiber roller, a natural bristle paintbrush, or they can be sprayed on. The coverage is 1,000 square feet per gallon. So that is more than any other coating in the industry. They are very thin, and they go a really long ways. They have an indefinite shelf life in a closed container. Sorry, going back to the coverage. When you look at coatings on a per square foot coverage basis, ours are actually one of the lowest in the industry cost-wise per square foot as well. Indefinite shelf life in a closed container. So if you have a coating, like our Crobio coat is a once per year application. So if you buy some Crobio coat and you apply it, if you seal it correctly in the original container or any really well sealed container, you can pull it back out next year and use the same coating. The coatings will not wash off with soap and water. They are solvent based. They are all available in a satin or matte finish as well. If you're doing a rusted metal project, or if you don't want any shine, you have some options there. Specialty application properties. They are self-leveling, like I mentioned. So as the coating dries, it self-levels. So you won't see streaking or lines or orange peel or anything like that. It actually looks clean and clear. And with the Protect-to-Clear and the Crobio coat especially, you really can't tell that there's a coating on that surface. They look clean and clear once they're dry. And it'll also help smooth out rough surfaces like rusted metal. So the Everbrite is a thicker coating, so that's what we recommend for rusted metal, but you can put it on any of those rusted metal accents and it will smooth out some of the roughness in those surfaces. All of our coatings are self-annealing, which means drips and runs can be fixed with another coat. It's easy to fix any issues. If you've missed, you go right back over them, even the next day or a week or a year later. You can go back over the same thing and the coating will blend to itself and you won't be able to see where you wiped it off. You can recoat even years later to maintain protection. And you can correct any holidays, scratches, gouges, and graffiti. And with graffiti, how it works is our coatings act like a sacrificial coating. So once the coating is on a surface and protecting a surface, if someone comes up and draws on it or paints on it, you can take off the coating in that one spot, clean off the graffiti, it'll take off the graffiti, it'll take off the coating, and then because it is self-annealing and self-leveling, you can reapply the coating just where you've taken off the graffiti, and you won't be able to see where you did the repair. And people have a hard time, especially the guys who do it in the field have a really hard time believing me that that's the case, but then they come in for training and they see us do it in person and they know it's true. So again, all of the low VOC properties for our coating. So our Everbrite comes in a very low VOC coating, and that is compliant with the South Coast Air Quality District in California. Also, Colorado has recently adopted those standards, and the Northeast is starting to adopt those standards as well. So as the country is moving more towards air quality efficiencies and those standards are being adopted, our coatings are compliant with those requirements and those laws. Protect-to-Clear and Crobio coat are also exempt. They have an exempt solvent in them that makes them compliant. Our exempt coatings do dry a bit faster. They cannot be shipped by air. So if you have those requirements, then we would just need to ship them ground, can't ship them air. And they're a bit heavier, which just makes shipping costs a little bit higher. Those are our low VOC coatings. So when you're looking at which coating you need or which coating you'd be using on a type of project, we are always here to help. Our office staff can answer the phone and answer that question for you. But you can use this as a guide. Antimicrobial protection desired, you would want to use Crobio coat. If you're doing stainless steel, high use and abuse, or mirror polish finishes, you'd want to use Protect-to-Clear. Again, it's really tough, durable coating. And if you have painted, anodized, architectural metal, and or rusted metal, then you would want to use Everbrite. And we can also send you this map so that you have a good understanding as you're ordering for projects. So getting customer buy-in, again, this is about actually building your business up during the winter time with indoor projects. So once per year reapplication on highly touched surfaces for Crobio coat. And then with Protector Clear and Everbrite that are on surfaces that are not high use and abuse, if they're just architectural surfaces, the coatings will last anywhere from 4 to 10 plus years, depending on the environmental conditions. So that with the Crobio coat, it works year round to reduce microbial growth. It reduces fingerprints, scratches, and smudges as long as the coating is intact. It protects surfaces from the elements. It keeps properties looking cleaner and newer all year long. So if you're doing this in the wintertime for your customers, you set up a plan to come back next winter and you set it as part of your service agreement to do once a year reapplication, and that will maintain strong protection against microbes across their whole facility. All of the coatings can be cleaned with normal non-solvent-based cleaners. You don't want to use really high alcohol cleaners or anything with a solvent base or even maybe a citrus base. You can stick with any mild detergents and cleaners, Windex, 409, bleach and water, Clorox wipes. All of those don't contain solvents, and so they can be used to clean the surfaces. But they can be cleaned. So a lot of people were really concerned with the harsh chemicals that were being used to clean surfaces during the last few years. So you don't really have to use those harsh chemicals. You can just use soap and water to clean. And then also a lot of companies and brands are aware of maintaining their LEED compliance and maintaining their ESG. And these coatings help with those processes, or help with meeting those standards, I should say. They can be cleaned on, all these surfaces can be cleaned on a normal cleaning schedule. So anyone who's increased cleaning since COVID, I think everybody's starting to come back down now, but they can clean just on a normal schedule, or perhaps even reduce their janitorial costs because of just going back to a normal cleaning schedule. For people who have front of office, front of house, people cleaning all the time, just looking at what their staff is doing, are their staff spending more time cleaning and keeping surfaces looking nice rather than helping customers? So you can kind of approach it that way of what else could your staff be doing rather than cleaning if these surfaces look great all the time. Start now, signing up customers for winter. So you can introduce your customers to the services now. You can provide a demo for them of the coating on some of their surfaces so that they see how great it can look. This is often the best way to sell these services because customers really see how it looks, how it performs, and then they can go ahead with the whole thing. Ask your customers if they still have room in their maintenance budget this year that they're looking to do some more maintenance projects for before the end of the year. That's a great way for them to spend those funds and for you to use those funds. And then offering customers a discount for scheduling application now, not necessarily that they have to do the applications right now. It's sun's still shining, it's still good weather. But if they sign up now to do these applications in December, January, February, which are typically slower outdoor months, then that is a good way to drive that business for the winter time. We do offer customizable sell sheets for the following industries, and we can also make other ones. But office return to work facilities preparation is probably still big as companies are trying to get their employees to go back into the office. Cruise lines, resorts and hotels, gyms, apartment complexes, multifamily, public transportation, and school districts. So all of these we have at the ready for any one of our certified contractors. And speaking of becoming a certified contractor, we have an upcoming training November 3rd in Sacramento, California. So this is where we would be introducing you to hands-on, more in-depth experience with all of the coatings, more knowledge about application procedures, preparation procedures, how to troubleshoot surface conditions, how to troubleshoot application conditions, or when you mess up, how to fix it. And then also getting hands-on experience with the coatings so you can see how they work, how to clean them up, how you can fix graffiti in one little spot. So that training is coming up, And then if you become a certified Everbrite partner, certified Everbrite contractor, that's when we are going to be passing through business to you as well. So when we get inquiries from our customers or from someone who's seen us at a trade show or at a conference or on the internet, and they say, oh, I want someone to come do this for me, that's when we refer you out, is once you're an Everbrite certified partner. So that's really, we help grow your business as well as give you those customized sell sheets and help you with some marketing assets for your customers and all of that. So my name is Jackie Balo. Thank you so much for joining me today. And if you have any questions, here's my contact information. Please feel free to reach out anytime. And I'm happy to answer any questions. And I would love to partner with you to help grow your business. Thank you so much.